So thank you. As mentioned, I'm Peter Bond. I'm VP of Partner Strategy and Development at Board. App Store top 5 shopping mobile app. Last week the app of the day. So that's good. So I'm really excited to be here with my interviewees in this conversation today, particularly being here in what is arguably the mecca for sports activity in the world right now. Of course, I'm talking about the Chattanooga Dodger Stadium. Some of you might actually be Dodger fans, that's my life. But so today we have 2 guests, and they are from Danone. Danone, if you're not familiar with them, you should be, because a lot of the brands are very familiar. They are a self-described multi-local food and beverage company. Essential dairy products, water, and specialty nutrition. So I'm going to pass it off to first, well, I guess since Linda's got the microphone, I'll ask you to describe what your role is in the organization. Surbhi, you can go now.
Hi, I'm Linda Bethea. I am the head of marketing for Danone North America, which means that I lead a team responsible for all of our media, brand design, creative, and shopper marketing across all of our brands.
Hi, my name is Surbhi Martin. I'm the VP of Yogurt and Functional Nutrition for Danone. I have a portfolio of brands that include Too Good, Oikos, Like and Molly. I have taken on responsibility over my portfolio of brands, and I'm responsible for brand strategy as well as business performance.
All right. So this is great because what we have here is we have someone who has responsibility for marketing on a portfolio basis, and we have someone who's responsible and owner of the P&L for a specific portfolio of brands in the functional area. So I think this will play well in understanding how they collaborate to deliver a unique and impactful customer experience. So my first question is to Linda. When you think about the Super Bowl, how do you consider investing in a platform that big, that broad, in terms of both building partners, enabling a strategy, and ultimately reaching a target audience for consumers?
Great question. So whenever we're evaluating a partner or property, whether it's Super Bowl, the Olympics, we always start from a strategic standpoint. So you probably don't know, Danone is actually one of the largest B Corps in the world, which basically means that we're using business as a force for good. In our portfolio here in North America of over 20 brands that are really focused on delivering against our mission of bringing health through food to as many people as possible. So when we're looking for partners, we want to make sure that there's synergy there, that they align with our brand values and our brand purpose. Each of the brands in our portfolio does have a distinct brand purpose statement. And so we really start from that standpoint and really choose partners that are going to fit with that strategic brand purpose and brand positioning. And so for a property like Super Bowl, that makes sense for a brand like Oikos, which is a maverick brand with a purpose of challenging the status quo from a health standpoint. So it's really where we start. And then we have to think about our brand objectives. For us here, it's all about driving awareness and engagement with our brand and really trying to reach that target audience. And so we want to make sure that the property or the partner we're choosing is reaching that audience. Now, obviously, almost everyone watches the Super Bowl. So yes, our yogurt consumers are watching it too. But we want to make sure that if we choose to partner in this, with the Super Bowl, that we're going to reach them in a really relevant, authentic way. That matters extremely to us to be able to measure that relevance with our target consumer. We put KPIs in place to measure the success and making sure that we're measuring every piece of our investment in a strategic partner or property. And we have data that proves that our investment in the Super Bowl works. Our folks from Ace Metrics, I think somebody here is in the room, right there, thank you, shared some amazing data with us earlier this week that 51% of consumers that saw our Super Bowl spot demonstrated increased interest in Oikos, which proves that it's working. And the spot actually resonated more with NFL fans than with the general population, which shows the relevance piece of it. So that's kind of how we think about, choosing a strategic partner and measuring success. But in reality, it's not always that strategic or simple. And actually, our road to Super Bowl was a little bit bumpy. We kind of stumbled upon it by accident. Do you want to tell that story?
Yeah, sure. No, thanks, Linda. The truth is that as strategic as we try to be, sometimes you sort of fall into things by accident. And that was the case 3 years ago when we did our first Super Bowl ad with Oikos 000. And the way it came about, and I love telling the story because sometimes you stumble into your strategy a little bit, by accident. It was my second week on the job with Danone, and I was meeting our new agency for Oikos, the wonderful Lightning Orchard. And we were having drinks in Brooklyn, under the Brooklyn Bridge. And we kind of walked away having this really aha meeting of the minds conversation and landed on sort of 3 principles of how we wanted to treat this brand going forward. The first was we wanted to stop playing with the cliches of traditional yogurt marketing. We were bored of them. I was bored of seeing women depicted in traditional yogurt marketing ads, just eating yogurt, usually with a salad on the side. So no more of that. The second principle we outlined is that we want to challenge the perceptions of healthy eating. We're a healthy eating company. Our portfolio and our mission as one of the largest B Corp in the world is health through food. But that doesn't have to be overly earnest or holier than thou in terms of posturing. So how do we execute and make healthy eating fun by challenging the perceptions of what American consumers think healthy eating is about? And then the third thing we decided to do is to really embrace the brand's DNA and legacy as a Maverick brand. The brand had done Super Bowl ads in the past with John Stamos, for any of you who are familiar with that. And there was like a playfulness and a slight naughtiness in the tonality that we thought we could reclaim and own in a much bigger way to challenge those perceptions of healthy eating. And that landed us with an ad called Yo Glutes for Super Bowl in 2020, also called the Bubble Butt ad to the song Bubble Butt. And it was a total hit. We ended up, stumbling into this at the last minute. We ended up being on a lot of top Super Bowl ads in 2020 lists. And then our sales spiked about 9% week over week in the weeks that we turned on media around that spot. So it really proved out that this platform was something that could be incredibly powerful for a brand with a product benefit of high protein, where we wanted to ladder up to strength and connect that to the NFL on game day. And I think we just raised the bar on ourselves by being a lot more strategic and intentional in how we built out the whole application.
Brilliant. So that's a really good understanding of how you decided the brand could connect with the platform. So bringing it back up a little bit to the enterprise level, how do you build a 360 surround that really takes it from screen to shelf and a true omni-channel approach to deliver activation?
Yeah, I think 360 activation is absolutely critical to ensure you're maximizing your investment in a property like this, right? Partnerships, Super Bowl investments, they're not cheap. And we do have limited marketing budgets, and making sure that we're developing that total screen to shelf activation is critically important. And for us, we're in lockstep with the brand team on this every step of the way. And it all starts with a brief. I truly believe that great creative execution starts with a tight brief. And a tight brief starts with a good consumer insight. And so that's really where we focused here. We knew that we already had a great brand campaign for Oikos with stronger makes everything better. And we wanted to continue that, but really use the Super Bowl as a breakthrough moment to really communicate the difference between some of the products in the portfolio. And so we worked really closely with our agency, Lightning Orchard, and our insights team to really hone in on a consumer insight, a real human truth that would enable us to unlock great creative. And they came up with a provocation around how strong do you want to be, building on this key compelling insight. And once we locked that big idea, it was just a matter of working with our integrated agency team to bring it to life across all touch points. From a media standpoint, we knew a traditional media buy didn't make sense for the Super Bowl for us. So we focused on developing an optimal paid plan that included a national digital buy through live stream, local TV buys. We used content partners to really reach an audience beyond the traditional sports enthusiast and work to develop some bespoke content that we know they really want to watch. And then we partner closely with our PR team on an earned plan. We kicked off this campaign this year on Good Morning America and have been generating some incredible buzz ever since. And then to really bring it down from that screen to shelf level, Our shopper marketing team works to figure out how we bring this to life at retail and through e-com. So this year we're activating in over 12,000 retailers nationally, and through e-com, digital couponing, retail media, et cetera. So it's a true holistic screen to shelf activation with every piece of it laddering back up to that big idea of how strong do you want to be.
So then, Surbhi, let's talk about the focus of the actual messaging, and let's dig into the Oikos Strong campaign. What you have done this year to adjust the overall strategy.
So just building on what Linda shared, our kind of evergreen campaign that we had launched last year is called Stronger Makes Everything Better. So we knew we wanted to maintain our brand equity around strength as kind of a benefit that you brought up from the high protein content. But we wanted to evolve it into this campaign, How Strong Do You Want to Be? Because we introduced a new product launch last year called Oikos Pro with 20 grams of protein. And that was really designed to be a recruitment product range for a younger consumer looking for those higher grams of protein. But we had this legacy scaled business of Oikos 000. And so the question was, how do we position and communicate the differences in these two ranges? One, a legacy core range, Oikos 000, which we had done the bubble wet ad with. And then how do we also speak to and create awareness around our new higher protein offering of Oikos Pro? So that was sort of the business challenges. We want the efficiency with limited dollars of one spot that can speak to two ranges as we build Oikos and evolve it into a true Greek yogurt master brand. And the creative mechanism that Lightning Orchard, our agency, came up with was, I think, quite brilliant because it was anchored, as Linda said, on this very relatable, true human insight, right? And you know it when it's true, and you usually know it when it's fake. But the insight was that every kid wants to be stronger than their parent, and every parent wants to maintain their strength. And so how do you design a campaign around that relatable human insight? Well, we brought it to life with the creative mechanism of a father-son duo, in this case played by Dion Primetime Sanders and his son, Shador Sanders, competing in over-the-top feats of strength. And Dion is sort of standing for Oikos 000 as the parent who wants to maintain his strength, and Shador is standing for Oikos Pro as the child who wants to eat higher protein content product to gain strength and beat his dad in the competition. And there's a really nice surprise ending featuring Dion's mom, who ultimately emerges as the strongest of them all. So I think we'll actually love to show the spot because it probably illustrates better than I can describe how that strategy and insight really came to life.
Oikos 000 protein to help maintain dad's strength.
Oikos Pro Protein to try to get stronger than dad.
Strong!
Stronger.
Stronger!
I'm getting the dad strength. I just know it.
How you gonna have dad strength when I'm the dad?
Strength? How do you think I gave birth to you and your big head?
Oikos Pro.
Oikos 000.
How strong do you want to be?
I think I stole the spot.
That was terrific. So earlier today, I heard another person talking about how they started their planning, even the Super Bowl before the Super Bowl they were planning to engage with. So when brands start to think about investing in such an enormous investment, a platform like the Super Bowl, they typically start 8 to 10 months, even more, as we heard, in advance. You guys have been able to kind of change the paradigm here. Can you give us an idea of how abbreviated you've been able to do that? What enabled you to do that? And ultimately, why you think that actually produces a more relevant customer experience?
Sure, 8 to 10 months is a pipe dream. I don't think we ever plan anything that far in advance. I think it was probably October that we decided that we were doing this year's Super Bowl. So everything came together soup to nuts in just about 3 months. And I think, we're successful in doing that really because of two things: really strong partnership and a really deep understanding of our brands and consumers. From a partnership standpoint, Surbhi and I are joined at the hip. We do everything and we're lockstep every step of the way. And we also have a great partnership with Lightning Orchard. That is a partnership that's built on trust and collaboration and really enables us to move fast when we need to. So I think we briefed them on this campaign in October, and we were able to land a creative idea in just a matter of weeks. And I think that really comes down to the fact that They truly are along for this journey with us. They understand the brand just as deeply as we do. We understand our consumer. We understand what matters to our consumer. And so we're very quickly able to partner with them to land a compelling creative idea. And from there, we were off to the races. We had to go select talent and find somebody, again, that fits with our brand purpose. It's also available to shoot within a very tight window. We shot the campaign January 11th, trafficked the spot 2 weeks later, and here we are. So I guess, and to answer your question on, why that makes sense for us beyond just the partnership and the deep understanding, I think moving fast also helps us be relevant. We can really stay on top of a changing consumer landscape, a changing sports landscape, right? Danone and Shador are really well-known, beloved icons in the sports world, but there's increased relevance over the past few months based on some of the other things they're doing. And so that really helped us tap into that and drive increased momentum for this spot in a short period of time. So we like kind of working flying by the seat of our pants. It works for us.
So then back to Surbhi. For this to work, you have to be incredibly collaborative in this very time frame. How does that happen? And specifically, how do you think culture and trust play into that effective collaboration?
I love that question. I'm a big fan of what I call psychological safety. And I think great creative comes from having a culture of safety. And that means a lot of things. It means trust, right? From the two of us. So our teams, see it. We don't say it. We do it. We behave that way. And when we're in lockstep, it minimizes swirl. It creates an environment of trust and safety to take creative risks. I believe that the creative work we can pull off in such short order is directly correlated to the amount of trust and that culture of safety that we built for the team. And so, I think a testament to that is doing a butt ad, a bubble butt ad. Like, as I walked in the door and it was like, I didn't know if I was going to get fired or not. Honestly, every day I would go home and I'd be like, am I going to get fired for doing this? But there was a belief from the leadership on high in creative risk taking and a culture of safety that, if you believe in this, I trust you. And we're just going to go do this. And it may feel like we're winging it at times, but we make mistakes, and that's okay. Permission to fail, permission to learn, which means we're going to get it wrong sometimes. But and when that happens, which it does occasionally, not for Super Bowl, not yet. There's no finger pointing. There's no finger pointing because we've all held hands all along the way. And I think you have to intentionally create that kind of culture of trust, of safety, and you have to behave that way as leaders because people pick up on it really fast if it's lip service. So I intentionally try to make sure that we're in lockstep, and often we're texting on the side of creative reviews with the whole team so that we don't create this world. There's no turf wars here. And that way we can just focus on the great work. And that extends to our agency. I just want to echo the partnership with Lightning Orchard. They're exceptional. They listen to us. There's no ego around preciousness of creative direction and ownership. We all feel a joint sense of accountability around even the creative. So when I was on set last month, filming's here, if I had notes, our agency creative director listened. They were valid, and I felt heard, and I think it results in better work. Sometimes we disagree, but that's okay. So I think that culture of safety is really important to deliver this kind of creative.
Yeah, and I'll just build on that because obviously I've worked in a number of different organizations, and I think this relationship and this culture is very different than those that I've worked with before. There's just implicit trust, and to Surbhi's point, we show it, we don't say it. We live this way every day, and it does extend to our agents. So when they initially presented this amazing insight around dad and son strength, we raised a point of view around, well, what about women? Half of our consumers are women. So what about them? Is this relevant to them? And that's when they came back and worked with them on the idea to integrate Connie into the spot. As Surbhi mentioned, we think she steals the show, right? She's the mom and she's the ultimate strength in that family. And they were just very open and very collaborative to working with us through that feedback, which ultimately resulted in better creative. So it's been a really wonderful working relationship.
Thank you for giving us a window into how you built this collaborative environment to deliver tremendous output in such a short period of time. It's a great example of that. The only last thing I'll just ask you is, do you want to put yourself on the record for who you're rooting for on the games?
I'm rooting for Oikos.
Okay, good answer. All right. that, I'll thank you all for joining us. I think lunch is the only thing next.